What do 10,000 employees at Spotify do? The software developers of the product itself, art directors, graphic designers, all the elements of any large office like executive assistant, payroll, accountants, and HR and IT etc., plus fleets of business affairs people that manage the contracts with the music artists that number in the millions and many more that I'm forgetting. There are a lot of supporting functions behind the scene. Streaming music around the world 24/7 to 500 meters monthly active users is a big engineering challenge in of itself, coupled with content ingestion and management, internet-scale data, recommender systems etc. Most teams are starved for resource to build an experiment. That's why the layoff hurts. Source: I worked there. Customer support, marketing, software development, infrastructure upkeep, our managers etc. As U/178 stated, there's a lot under the surface. You don't need a lot of people to create something new, but you need more people to globally scale, add new features, and keep everything always available. You then need the people to manage the employees and navigate the market and legal hurdles. There are also logistical hurdles. You don't want one person who knows everything. You want to have a minimum of 3 people with a primary, secondary, and tertiary skill set in each foundational technical area. Why? Because people go on vacation, take other job offers, or get hit by buses. You want to be able to persist as your employees change careers without losing corporate, proprietary knowledge. It's because of this that many established companies have more people than you'd expect. It's not needed to exist, but it's needed to persist. You don't want one person holding a critical function hostage. Also, large companies have people you don't consider. If you think of Microsoft, you think they hire software developers. And yet, they need artists and graphic designers. Why? Because software that's ugly and difficult to use will not sell or keep customers. They need salespeople. They need marketing specialists. Companies hire data scientists to derive greater value out of their loads of data and signals from consumers, and then other specialists to put this data into a consumable format and reports, like the end-of-year roundup. And don't forget about localization of content. Global applications need to have resources that can work and communicate and design for a variety of countries and cultures. When you start to add that up, your numbers go up quickly. The best companies are able to grow large enough for stability and persistence, while staying small enough to stay profitable. Some companies fail because they overhire. Some companies fail because they fail to plan for growth, persistence. Others fail because they are purchased by an idiot who drives it into the ground. Obviously they workshop ideas about how to make their UI less usable and which way to rig their algorithms to favor the same 4 songs out of a 4,000 song playlist. They print money apparently. Some of them count it. You think the Spotification happens automatically? I worked at Spotify, specifically in the media movement division. We were, until we got laid off, a 15-person team that dealt with the design, function, and continuous optimization of the rewind and forward buttons. For instance, when you would skip forward previously, it was laggy and would sort of jitter. My team was responsible for writing a complete new JavaScript framework that allowed for losses, fast forwarding and rewind, what we refer to as go up and go back internally. It's just one Spotify, Michael. How many people could it take to run it? 10. Spotify's product teams have published quite a bit about how they work. They published a bunch of videos on this. Link below. which became known in industry as the Spotify model. Spotify is organized into small groups of product managers, engineers, designers that are responsible for a single part of the user experience. Perhaps search, or playlist creation, or consumer API, have a squad. This would make up about half of the headcount. Another quarter is sales, marketing and content partnership types. And another quarter are keeping the other two groups hired, paid, legal and happy. I might have the ratio wrong, but those are more or less the key groups inside a software as a service subscription service. In addition to typical software things, Spotify also has some music production folks, doing things like Spotify sessions, and so on. https www.youtube.com/watch v equals 4gk1 ndtwbky and list equals rd4gk1 ndtwbky. Someone has to keep adding new unnecessary features, like delete this song from Eternity Forever, which I keep accidentally clicking on. I guess I'll never hear that song again. Oh well, maybe it wasn't good anyway. Customer service team for a company like Spotify is probably 1,500 people strong in different countries. Every time you start listening to a new song on Spotify, a DJ has to drop that needle. Someone has to push the play button on all of the songs that we listen to. A couple thousand keep the infrastructure running and the rest bitch about Joe Rogan. Don't forget they've got multiple apps across many platforms, not just web and phone, but smart TVs, watches, in-car and others. Each of those will need multiple teams to support. Unrelated, but similar, as I was just telling a coworker this as we drove by this morning. In 1985 I joined SAG, Screen Actors Guild, and it was entirely house in a small 2-story building on Sunset Boulevard. Now they have a huge 10-story building on Wilshire. WAAAY bigger. Roughly 6575x bigger. And this was pre-merge with AFTRA. And this doesn't include many satellite offices, buildings. I just can't imagine the actual need for that much increased staffing and floor space, aside from the need to budget and spending targets. But then again, maybe they do need it all. I think there is a ton of excess in most large companies. Real answer from an ex-business consultant. Say you have 10 VPs, each of those 10 is going to want to hire 10 directors. Add 100 employees. Each of those is going to want to hire 10 managers. Add 1,000 employees. Each of those is going to want to hire 10 worker bees. Add 10,000 employees. You know all those people that work around you and you don't know what they do. Yeah, neither do they. But you're no kind of manager if you don't have direct reports. It's called filling out an org chart and is why half the jobs in corporate America are make-work positions. They press play on the songs people want to listen to. My guess would be Global Human Resources, 200 Global Marketing, 400 Software Developers, 200 E&D, 200 Brand Managers, 500 Business Sales Managers, 200 Customer Service, 2,000 Office Managers, Cleaners, etc. 200 Management, 100,200. That's a quick guess and very simplified version, but you can see how quickly numbers add up. The staff for Spotify China alone is probably 1,000.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.